Alrighty, let's get into it. Afghanistan, '09.
Yep.
It's your, at that point, third deployment in Afghanistan?
Fourth deployment. Oh, to Afghanistan?
Yeah.
That was my, third deployment to Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, third deployment.
Now, this is the one where, some people online who have heard you on Sean Ryan, I've heard you on Vlad over the years, I've heard you talk on some other platforms, like, this is where the popped off and where you became the Reaper.
Yeah, man. That was let's say, I forget the month we deployed. It had to be around March, April, May, April or May time frame is when we set off on that deployment. And leading up to that, it was like everyone was expecting it to be like another SEAL Team 6 deployment. You're in the action, but not really in the action. So I'm telling my wife before I leave, I'm like, hey, this is a boring deployment. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. It's a chill deployment. We were going to a place called Kandahar, Afghanistan. And little did we know, or at that time, that like the missions we were going to be doing were all in, support or in conjunction with, not with the Marine Corps. We were going into Kandahar, specifically Helmand Province, to clear that area before the Marines went in. That big push, I believe it was like late 2009. They had this big push of Marines come through to like take over this Taliban safe haven area. And our mission was to kill, like, it was as simple as that mission set could be, was to just kill everybody. Not everybody, but every terrorist, every person with a gun, everybody who shot it, like, destroy them. And that was the whole mission set, was to accumulate and wipe out as many, terrorist cells and that we possibly, encounter could encounter.
How hard was it to be able to tell, though, who was a terrorist cell versus who's a civilian versus who's a civilian who's been pressured to help out a terrorist cell? So are they a terror? You know what I mean? Like a lot of gray area.
A lot of gray area. Our interrogating skills were pretty good. We could find out who was associated with the Taliban or who was directly, with the Taliban and others who had been pressured. But initially going after a target, we would have like the CIA guys, the intel guys accumulate this package, and they're using everything from cell phones to drones to all types of electronic surveillance and human surveillance to, figure out who was bad and who was good.
I just want to shout out Julian Dory's podcast, man. If you want to see the full video, check out his podcast. The link will be in the description. Welcome to another video. I just want to quickly touch on something when he said something about good or bad. Now, who decides who's good and who's bad? If you check out someone's perspective, for example, the Taliban in this situation, they may look at themselves as like freedom fighters for their country, for their people. In their eyes, they may be looking at it like, I'm doing the right thing for my country, for my people. I'm standing up against someone else or another country who I think is bad. So does that make the Taliban bad? Where, the Americans are looking at it like, well, we're coming into your country because of these reasons that a government has said that you're doing this. So we look at you as bad. But who is really good and who is really bad in this situation? Let me know in the comments what you think about this.
Have this package, they send it off to us, and we would go execute the mission. We're going to this, location in Helmand or Kandahar, and that's, who knows if they were really bad people. We were just told they were bad people. Who know?
See, I like that. I like that he's actually said, how do we know they're bad people? Because at the end of the day, it's just intel from your government, and they having an agenda for whatever reasons their agenda is to make you do their work in a sense. Yeah.
But once we got there, it was pretty evident, like, well, they were up to something. They had, tons of guns. Normally get into some pretty good shootouts with them. lot of bomb making materials. Mainly that we were going after a lot of IED makers, a lot of bomb makers during that deployment. In the presence of like landmines and remnants of the Soviet era landmines, they were all out there in the field. And a lot of the guys, like I said, we were going after just made bombs, just made IEDs and facilitated different foreign fighters. And we were like hammering those guys pretty hard. But once we got in, you know, on target, you'd find out quick who was bad and who was just like, hey, I'm just here, you know.
And a lot of the I mean, you're going into like villages, so to speak, like in the mountains.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty much what it is.
Somewhat. Helmand Province was a lot like a, if you could imagine, damn, it's kind of hard to describe what this area looked like. It was Afghanistan, less mountainy, more desert, but just a bunch of small one-story huts and homes. And you had your tribes in there too, like your little sections of who was who. But it was, I don't know, it was, yeah, there you go. That's what it looked like. Less mountain.
Oh, yeah, okay. So almost like, it almost feels like Vegas, but in Afghanistan.
There you go. Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like. Now try,
That's funny.
Helmand, Afghanistan. Helam, or M-A-N.
Yes, so some of it's going to remind you a little bit of the urban feel of Iraq.
Yeah, they look at dogs as rats, so.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They hate dogs over there. So it was,
What's the deal? Why the dog hate?
I don't know. And everywhere you go in Afghanistan, there's like a stray dog somewhere barking.
That's what I'm saying. I always picture the dogs around in these towns. Like,
They're rats. They're considered like rats. How we look at rats in the U.S. is how they look at dogs over there.
they don't eat them, do they?
I don't think so. I don't know.
That'd be a bridge too far for me.
Yeah. I never smelled cooking dog. Luckily, when I was out there, they ate a lot of chicken. And
So you know what cooking dog smells like?
No.
Good answer.
Right? In today's society, of course I don't know.
Oh my God! How would they even though? Like, I think about this all the time because you'll see some of these pictures with soldiers standing in front of the poppy fields.
Yeah.
And it's just like holy. But during this time, like, how were they so easily able to get it out of there? Considering we have presence.
Exactly. I don't know. I've heard weird stories too. I've heard of
Please do tell.
yeah, like just Marines guarding opium fields at one point.
Now, Marines guarding opium fields, like what could they be guarding that for? Business is business. Do you understand me? If we're coming into your country and we're trying to take over your country, we're going to take as much as we can from your resources as well. Opium is a big supply from Afghanistan. That's where it's grown. Are they just going to pass up billions of pounds of worth of stuff?
Heard about that, never seen them. But I did ask we would be deployed with like sometimes FBI, HRT guys, DEA, and guys from different agencies and whatnot. And I remember asking, or the question got brought up, how is all the getting from these little fields to the United States? And I think they were going through China at one point. They would.
Sorry to keep pausing the video. I'm sorry. But isn't that funny? Like, it's going through China. Now, we know that America and China, it's a big competition between them. Like, at the end of the day, America wants to be the big boy. China is a big boy. They're producing a lot of stuff for the world. So, yeah, is this something that the Americans would be like, we need to stop this being imported through China and let's just directly take control? Like, we can't have these Chinese making money.
Do their stuff, however they procure opium or poppy, whatever, they would ship it through, I think, China or something. Like from China to here. I'm not sure, but I think that's how their trade went. Weird, but I don't know.
But even getting it into China, who's like a geopolitical rival of ours.
Yeah.
Crazy. And yeah, I mean, you're right. That's how, like, with the fentanyl trade, It's all coming, emanating from there.
Yep. It's weird. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe my conspiracy side says maybe we might be facilitating some of that.
Interesting. That's very honest, sir. Very honest.
To what end?
To bringing it over. To some, I guess, pharmaceutical grade, but I think other is it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You know, why pass up on all that money? If I were the government and no one trusts me because of the things that I do, the questionable things that I do, one of the questionable things that I would do is be involved with the drug trade.
Mm.
Wow, that's coming from a soldier who's seen it, who's been in the fields. Like, we know it's happening. Like, you can't be blind to say it's not happening. As he just said, if a country is being blamed for things, you know, their wrongdoings, why not just do the wrongdoings anyway? We're gonna get blamed. And yeah, it's very interesting that he said that. But we'll continue anyway.
There's a lot of money to be made off the books,
yeah.
tax free, off the books. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but no, it didn't feel valorous at the time. It was just dropping bombs on people.
Business in a way.
Yeah.
But you were, before we were looking it up, you were
Yeah.
talking about the drone warfare being one-sided.
I think it, like back then, they had drones, or we had drones, but it was just for like Hellfire missiles and stuff like that. I never heard of, or mainly surveillance. I'd never believed or heard of a drone like dropping bombs, how they're doing now. Are you talking about the drones where they fly them and blow people up with them? Yeah, I've never, no. That wasn't until like I had a drone. Way after I left the Army, I had that DG.
You were blowing people up after
No. I had the one you can buy from like Best Buy drone.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, man, somebody could strap a bomb to this and
Yes.
that would be, insane. And lo and behold, that's like all warfare now.
Yeah.
I would be scared to be in a war with drones. They could do that as opposed to like just being in a gunfight with someone.
Right.
Big.
So, quick question. Do you think that, warfare today has just got to a point where it's not actually warfare, it's just computers and people sitting behind desks with joysticks flying, and like, is it cowardly? Like, has the courage and the bravery like gone out of the army these days? Because, a lot of their tactics, it's not actually soldiers on the ground, as many soldiers on the ground, and they have all this technology to help them. Is it fair? Especially like when you look at America and you say like, they're a technical country. They claim they have the best, weapons and drones and all of this other stuff, missiles in the world. But do you think it's cowardly because you're not actually fighting like how wars were won, like back in the day? Like wars now, it's just quick, bing, bang, bomb, get in there, take that out, gone. Do you understand me? Like power load of bombs, but we don't have to send none of our soldiers in there. We don't even have to have our ships near there. Okay, if we got to send some missiles, yeah, maybe our ships have got to be a bit closer, but like, has the game changed? Let me know what you think in the comments, man.
I think that's way more terrifying.
Because they talk about the George W. Bush didn't have access to those till like the end of his presidency.
To what?
To drones, to call in strikes and stuff. And then he started using them pretty heavily. Then Obama used them and Trump used them, and it's just kind of continued. Like it's a major part of, like maybe the most major part of like warfare strategy these days. Just drop a drone on them.
Yep. I don't know. It takes I don't know. I think it definitely changes like the atmosphere of how we fight wars now, and it reduces, I guess, the risk of losing soldiers' lives, but
Collateral damage.
Yeah, but it's just a weird way of.
Yeah, I get what you're saying when you're saying like it's an easier way, because if you was the person bringing war to somebody, you'd want it to be the most effective and least impactful on your soldiers. So like, this is the best way to fight, using drones as our support, You know, we have a few soldiers on ground, but we just drone up the place, bomb up the place, and then we're done. Like, is that war? Like, is that fair on the people that, you know, don't see it coming? It's that they're, you know, they don't have people that they can go and fight against. They're fighting against things that's just in the sky, and then at any minute, next minute you're hearing the whistle, and then boom. You know, a whole village could just be wiped out, not knowing. Like, is that fair? Is that cowardly? Let me know what you think, man.
Fighting a war, I think. I think it's, man, I'm not gonna say it's cowardly, but it's not. It's just a weird way of fighting a war now. Of a guy can sit behind a desk and just zzz, and blow somebody up. It's just a weird way of fighting war. But there's no different than being a sniper. It's like, oh, I get the luxury, if I want, hiding in a bush, and you know, someone has no idea. So it's. And if you had, depending on who you ask, like back in the Vietnam War, they looked at them as like a coward's way of fighting. Snipers. Yeah. And even way further back than that, like the Revolutionary War, they were like highly looked down upon. Was it the Revolutionary War where
How
the
far
redcoats
did they shoot back then?
with the muskets? Not too far, but they would hide out in the tree line and plug people off.
Yeah, what was that guy's name? The swamp fox or something like that.
Oh, swamp fox.
Yeah,
dude, are you talking about? Oh man.
That's the dude. He's one of the three people they based Mel Gibson's character in The Patriot.
Got it. I think it is. I think you're right. Was it Swamp Fox?
Yeah.
Why does that sound so familiar? I might be thinking of...
Can we look that up? Swamp Fox Revolutionary War?
When you say that, I'm thinking... My mind goes to when I was a kid playing Metal Gear Solid. And there was a guy, I think, named Swamp Fox in there or something.
Well, that might be it, yeah.
Francis Marlin. There you go.
Francis Marion, yeah. A South Carolina militia leader known for his guerrilla tactics against British forces in the swampy regions of the state, earning him the nickname due to his elusive and cunning fighting style. And his nemesis was the British dude who they based
no idea
the other guy in The Patriot off of, the British guy with the long black hair ponytail. I forget what his name was, but yeah, that's I would imagine that makes sense what you're saying, because it was viewed. The British were very into like warfare. We do this correctly by the book, and then you got these fucking Yankees going,
nope,
not today.
Nope. But I think that's a smarter way of fighting a war, though. Yeah. I don't want to line up and have you shoot at me with your muskets and then I return a volley. No.
It's so stupid.
That's very stupid. Very stupid.
Ain't that funny though? That even warfare has developed and has changed. Like, I get it because, you know, technology's changed. But just listening to what he's saying about the revolution in America and just the progresses as what's happened, like some people would look at how they won that war as cowardly, but now, you know, we got different steps, and we had the snipers that people were upset at, you know, you're hiding behind bushes and taking out people. That's not war. But who is to say what the best way to have a war is?
It's like, who's gonna lose? It's just attrition.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Dumb way. I mean, yeah, it's a stupid way of fighting a war, I think. If I were back then, I would want to be like a swamp fox. So it depends on like how your definition or what your definition of a coward in war is, you know? I guess it changes throughout the way we fight wars. Back then, he was a coward. Vietnam snipers were cowards, and today we look at drone guys as like, not a coward. I'm not going to say coward, but it's just a weird way of fighting a war. Like, you're not there, you know? You can just press a button and use a joystick and life's ended. It's weird, you know?
Eventually war may and probably will be like AI, you know? It just gets weird. To your point, you're just talking about the evolution.
Yeah.
Wow, is that the next evolution? AI? What, robots or just fully automated warfare? You don't even need human beings to be on joysticks no more. Just fully automated war. Is that next? Let me know in the comments.
You know, and they don't have a clue that you're out there. Maybe they do. Maybe they did. That they saw us on a rooftop, but they don't think that they're going to get plucked from that distance. I don't think so. They didn't seem like it. They were just like, where's that coming from? And we're dead. It's pretty quick.
And then you added another one shortly after that, right? That was the first 24 hours, and then they came right back?
No, I was killing or getting in engagements like almost every few missions.
Did you hear how easy that was for him to say? But he kind of changed it back. First he used the word killing, and then he used the word engagement. Engagement and killing, to them, it's the same thing. So when I look at his face and I look at him and his speak and everything and his speech, he seems very normal. Like even the look in his eyes seems like he's normalized this, or he's strong-minded where it's not impacting him. But is it? Like, can someone go through all of that and kill people and come out the other side and be okay? Like fully, truly okay? Or is there going to be some sort of, he's going to be a bit tapped a bit because of what he's seen?
Or so. Every few missions. The guy after that, well, the ones I remember, I was on a rooftop and I shot this guy in a blue, like, man jammy dress. And he was running away from this, I had no idea at the time I was on top of a mosque. I just knew that the roof was different. It was like, I didn't know. It was like a bad deal too. It was a very flat, sturdy roof. Everything prior to that had been, you could fall through the rooftop, and some of them had no rooftops. It was just an opening. And I just knew this rooftop was different, and it was sturdy and really solid and sound. And I saw this guy fleeing from underneath me, and he was running towards our blocking position point, and he was doing the whole suicide, deal. And our guys in the tree line were shooting at him. They were missing. They popped off some like 203 rounds to try to deter him, and he was still hell-bent on doing his thing. And I remember lining up. I got to a knee, lined up, and the first shot I took missed. I just got pissed at myself for missing a shot like that. Second shot lined up on his back, and I remember pulling the trigger, and by the time the recoil went down, there was no person there. And I got the call up of, hey, he's down, and went up, investigated the body, and took the pictures. But I remember his mom crying from inside the mosque. That like really stuck with me. I remember that one. I remember the guys on the rooftop. We were going into, shortly after I killed the first two guys, maybe you're talking about this one, we were going into Helmand province, and as soon as we stepped foot like within inside the city perimeter, we just start getting ambushed, just lit up from this rooftop. And there were, 3 individuals up on the rooftop, lined up and shooting at a downward angle at our element. That's like, we're just trying to march through the city, and they're ambushing us from on top of the rooftops. And I remember me and my spotter lined up, and I go to engage, me and him both, and his gun goes click. It didn't go off for some reason, malfunction. So I just had the opportunity to clean up that rooftop, and that was an experience. That was like,
man said he had the opportunity to clean up, like just even the way like he speaks, it doesn't seem like he thinks it's very real, or what he did, like he was taking lives. Like I know he probably does understand what he's done, and I'm sure somewhere he has a bit of sadness, regret, guilt. I'm hoping he does. But how can you go about killing people and just be okay with it? Like, yes, you might think it's for your government, but really and truly, you're fighting for a people that, I'm talking about Americans now, you're fighting for a people that at one point had you enslaved. I would never fight for the country that I'm in. I will go to jail, and I'm sitting my ass in jail. You are not getting me to go and fight to kill nobody for you. I do see a lot of black Americans joining the army, and I don't get it. They're very patriotic. Like, I could never be patriotic to England. I just couldn't be. Like, I'm born here, so I do class myself as British. But to say I'm going to go into your army and go and fight, nah, never.
like the only headshots that I took, because that was the only thing that was exposed, I was never one to like shoot people in the head. It was just a smaller target, and it always moves around. The body's broad, and even for a small Afghan male, they're skinny and frail, but it's enough to, yeah, it's different than the head. I didn't like shooting people in the head. But yeah, I took care of those guys on the rooftop, and it felt like every 30 minutes after that, we were getting ambushed. And there's another book that a guy I was on that, he turned out to, he became a sniper after I got out. His name's Paul Martinez. Me and him were on that deployment together, and he describes it like every 10, 20 minutes we were getting ambushed. We're calling in, A-10s, we're calling in Apache helicopters and mortars and all types of stuff to help us out with that. But I think that was what you're talking about. Like shortly after my first mission is when I got the guys on the rooftop. Then after that one was when I got the guy in the blue man dress. And then I got like 5 or 6 in one day. Shortly after that.
This is all within like a couple weeks. No?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, my point was, you're coming back to base and you're like, holy shit, we're getting hot spots every time.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not a baseball guy, but the first time I had ever heard someone refer to like baseball, to me was another platoon sergeant. He was like, dude, you're batting 1,000. I had no idea what that meant. I was like, he's like, every time we go on or going out, you're killing somebody. I was like, wow, yeah, I am. But I didn't think of it like that at the time. It was weird. It hadn't like set in yet and how rare it was for a sniper in our platoon, or as a ranger for that matter, to even kill. We're more so like intel guys, if you want to call us that. Like we're just saying, hey, I see someone here. Right. There's guys here. Rarely do we get a chance to shoot. So it was weird for other people, I think, to see that.
You talk about the one example when you're on top of the mosque and you hear the mom, and that sticks with you because you just took the guy out. Now it's like, look, you're not out here shooting little kids or anything like that. The guys you shot were bad guys. Yeah. These were guys who were doing bad shit, and those are shots that, looking back on it in hindsight, you take 11 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
He said, you're shooting adults. You're not shooting kids. But does that make a difference? Because there's some kids that are of certain ages, like 16, and they look like men. So how can you be sure that you're just killing adults?
You're still extinguishing a human life. And you're doing it now for you and for many people, unheard of volume after these first few. Is there ever a moment when you're back at the base, a couple weeks in, where you're like, shit, that's heavy, or like, you know what I mean? Like where the gravity of it is almost as if you're second guessing, like, well, were all of them bad?
Yeah, I don't think I ever thought that. I think this is going to sound weird, but I was getting like addicted a little bit. Addicted. And back then I didn't look at it as, I don't know. Back then it was just like,
doing your job.
This is cool, and I like it. Maybe too much. And
that's very deep. Man said he liked it. Now I get like, if you go into something and you get a good buzz from it, like you're probably gonna wanting to continue to do that. So I get, like, if you've trained to be in the army and now you're doing the job that you've trained for, I get it. But you're taking life. You're taking life that you didn't raise. You're taking life that it's not your decision to take this person's life. And even him saying that it doesn't haunt him, is he capping or is he being real? Because I don't think you can just be taking people's lives and then you don't have no feeling about it. And if you don't have no feelings about it, does that make you, a psychopath, like crazy? Now, what does that make you?
Will this stop? How long? Because I didn't want to continue an army career, like for the rest of my life or nothing like that. But at the same time, I also did not want to stop doing that. But that's the only place you can find it or do it was in the Army, continuing to do the job career that I had. But no, I never like thought about how, there's a few times I thought about how heavy it was, and that was just mainly like from bad dreams and stuff. But right after the fact, it was more so of guys wanting to come over to me and look at a picture that, hey, who'd you shoot, or what happened, and you know, you have the pictures and you look at the pictures and stuff like that. But it was getting to be a problem, I guess. Yeah. I got in trouble for keeping a picture, and hang.
Like, why would you want to keep a picture of somebody you've just killed? That's opening up a whole load of could open up a whole load of spiritual stuff, that you're looking at a person like you don't know. It's very deep, my people. Like is the army, is war, is armies, is it needed in this world? Let's finish off this video. We're gonna give it another minute or two, and then we'll come back.
Get up above my bed at one point. It was the guy in the blue dress, the blue man dress.
Is that the guy you'd get the dream about?
No, that was the first guy I ever killed with the 50 cal on my first deployment. This guy just had a picture up on my bed. I don't know why. I don't know why, man, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think that's when, I don't know.
There's some sort of subconscious there.
Yeah. That was the only time it got weird, I guess. But as far as like feeling anything, I always had that roller coaster ride of emotions of joys, excitement, happy, and what are we doing? You know, or what am I doing? What is this for? Like, I'm going to kill this guy, and then tomorrow I have to kill another guy and 2 more guys after that. It's never going to end. And then you just kind of, I question that. Like, what is this for, you know? Because every time I did, I felt like it was a piece of soul being taken away from me. Like I just carried this strict, robotic mindset or emotional state where I'm just like, kill, and no emotion whatsoever. No, it would hurt sometimes, you know, or I felt like a piece of me was taken away. Like, you're taking a life at the end of the day. And the way that I was taking life, they had no idea it was even coming. It was 1 minute, he could be talking to his friend, and now he's gone. That was that's weird, you know, to comprehend, I guess, at that age, or for anybody.
Check out the video, man. It's interesting just to hear, like, you know, the views of a soldier in the army and the type of things they get up to, and also to hear about the aftermath, like how they feel. And just looking at this guy, it seems like he's handled it okay. He hasn't lost his mind. He seems kind of normal. But is he a kind of normal because he hasn't accepted what he's done? Or he hasn't truly deeply thought about why he was doing it, who he's doing it for? Like, is killing right in war? Is killing right? Very interesting topic, man. Just let me know what you think in the comments, man. And there'll be more videos like this, man. Love and peace, people.